Empires always swear that their money is safe. Throughout history, every government has promised that its commitments would last forever. Yet history always proves them wrong and exposes the illusion. From the Roman Empire to France, from the Confederacy to modern Lebanon, people have woken up to discover that their savings had lost value. Their salaries had become meaningless, and the hopeful lives ahead of them were destroyed by the very economic systems they once trusted. Collapse does not happen by accident. It is a rule embedded within the system itself. Every system eventually collapses, but the real question is what happens after it does. When the system fails, you must ask yourself what position you will be in. This is where foresight begins to matter. The greatest financial mistake is believing that a system can last forever. We look at account balances, currencies, and markets and assume they will never change. But money is not rock or gold. Money is trust, and trust can disappear overnight. Trust is political. History teaches us again and again how brutally fragile trust really is. True wealth is revealed only after collapse. And if you observe carefully, you will notice a pattern. Those who fall are the ones who trusted the system the most, while those who survive are the ones who doubted it first. The Byzantine Empire is a perfect example. Its economy relied on the gold solidus. Across Europe and the Middle East, the solidus was universally accepted and used as a common currency for trade. Merchants accepted it without even weighing it. Their trust was not in Byzantium itself, but in the gold. But history is ruthless. Just as the Romans debased silver, the Byzantines began to debase gold. They printed more money and its value declined. At first no one noticed, but once trust was broken, there was no return. The solidus lost its credibility and the economy collapsed. So, who survived this collapse? Not those who trusted the empire. Those who survived were the ones who held gold, owned land, and possessed real assets. The first lesson is clear. Governments cannot resist manipulating money. And when they do, real value moves into things that cannot be printed. Not all collapses come from financial policy. Sudden shocks can destroy every balance at once. The Black Death of the 14th century cut Europe's population in half. Cities emptied, villages vanished, and trade networks collapsed. At first glance, the world appeared to be on the edge of total destruction. Yet something unexpected happened. With fewer people, labor became scarce and valuable. Wages increased. Land and houses, once impossible to own, stood abandoned. Those who had silver, goods, or productive ability gained an extraordinary advantage in this new reality. This should sound familiar. During the COVID pandemic, similar patterns emerged. Trade was disrupted, governments flooded markets with money, inflation surged, and asset prices soared. Those with liquidity invested in property, stocks, and businesses. Those dependent on wages were crushed by rising rents and inflation. Extraordinary crises redistribute wealth. The prepared rise while the unprepared fall. Renaissance Florence teaches another lesson. Nothing is too big to fail. Florence was the financial center of Europe. Powerful banks lent to kings and noble families, and the city was drowning in wealth. But when the King of England refused to repay his debts, the banking system collapsed. Deposits vanished, and trade came to a halt. People were forced to learn a painful truth. Power and size are not safety. Reputation is not protection. The larger an institution becomes, the greater the danger it carries. Banks and institutions exist to profit, not to protect you, and when they fall, they pull you down with them. The American Civil War offers another often forgotten financial collapse. The cost of war forced the government to print money. As the conflict dragged on, both sides saw their currencies lose value. In the South, inflation spiraled out of control. Lifelong savings evaporated. The assets that retained value never changed: land, goods, and gold. The French Revolution followed the same path. The uncontrolled printing of assignats led to inflation and eventually famine. Trust in paper money collapsed, just as it had in Rome. Once again, tangible assets preserved value. The Asian financial crisis of 1997 revealed one of history's harshest truths. Borrowing in foreign currency is a deadly trap. When local currencies collapsed, dollar-denominated debts exploded overnight. Entire nations and populations were pushed toward bankruptcy. Those who suffered least were the ones who held assets outside the system. Lebanon repeated this lesson in 2019. Banks locked their doors. People lost access to their own money. The national currency lost nearly all of its value. The middle class was erased almost overnight. So what is the lesson of all this? In Byzantium, gold mattered. After the plague, liquidity mattered. In Florence, distrust mattered. During the American Civil War, tangible goods mattered. In Asia, avoiding foreign debt mattered. In Lebanon, not handing full control to banks mattered. The common theme is trust. You cannot afford to trust any system completely. You must remain alert. Those who turn collapse into opportunity do not merely survive, they thrive. When systems fall, you either fall with them or rise above them. There is no middle ground. When money collapses, the old order disappears and new winners are born. If this video has created historical awareness about financial systems and government choices, do not forget to subscribe for more.